Uh, no, yesterday class is good. Yesterday even we got that credentials and all. One thing actually, one request. If you share videos, right, it will be useful for us to remember those navigation and all. Even yesterday, right, when I open it, for me,
Hmm.
navigations and all, I'm a bit confused actually yesterday. Uh, I created a user, but while creating a user, right, we need to get to the pop up that password and all, right. I guess
Correct.
I got a different screen, I guess, yesterday. So in case if you provide those videos, right, we
Yeah,
can go
so
through those videos and all.
yeah, I'll talk to admin and I'll see
Okay.
to give you
Okay.
access. Okay.
Okay.
Apart from that, do you have any other questions?
No. Topic wise, we are good.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with your enterprise structure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with locations. Okay. Now, feel free in case if you have any questions. Okay?
Sure. Sure.
So the terminologies are quite a little bit of different compared to EBS, but
Uh-huh.
at least in terms of structure and all, right, you should correlate with EBS because there
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have operating unit, here you have business unit. So inventory organizations, which is locators, it's all same.
Yep.
Okay, so here and there you see different terminologies. Apart from that, you should be good. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to start with location creation process.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
what is location? Location is nothing but a physical address where you receive goods, ship goods from that location. Okay. Now each warehouse needs to have a physical location because from there you're going to ship it. But again, that depends upon business to business and project to project. Some are like virtual location, but still they create it for inventory tracking purpose. Okay. So to create a location, first what you need to do, make sure you are in the manufacturing supply chain materials, or it can be in procurement also. I'm going to search with task manage locations. Now, if you see this task, right, this task is available in different functional areas: enterprise profile, suppliers, and customers. I click on manage locations. Okay. If you want, you can search from here, or you can also do a search from global. This is your global. This is called as task pane. When you click on task pane, it expands and it displays all these additional links. Okay. Now you click on search. Okay. Now when you click on search, if you know the task, just enter the task. Again, this is you know search criteria where in case if you enter the partial, it still displays based on this. Okay. Down below you see task list and objects. Okay. Now if you just type like this, right? If you see, right, this is a specific task which is nothing but a setup, individual setup. So I can, when I click on this, it then takes me to the task. Now if you see here locations, now here if you see the task, under task column, you see business object, task list, task. If you see business objects, right? If you see, this is the main folder. Under that you have task. Under that you have task. So task list and task. It's like a segregation that you do. So I'm going to search for manage locations and click on locations. Manage locations. Now I'll see this locations. Manage locations page is displayed for me. Now on the top, use search criteria, which means this allows you to search any locations. In case if you want to search some location, if you know the location name, you can directly enter the location name. If you don't know the location name, you can use advanced, and you can click on this and say it does not contain. Probably I just use, let's for example, this is, and you click on search. Now the system displays all the search criteria, all the locations that have this criteria. Just give me a minute. So what system will do? It will display all the locations that meet this criteria. Okay. Now, if you want, you can export this data. Okay. Or in case if you want to edit, you can also edit this one also. Right. Now, in case if you think you want to search based on different criteria, you can also do this. You can add fields and you can enable these fields, and system will display those here. Okay. Now, wherever you see star, that is a mandatory, which means one of the, so if you see two stars, which is one of the field is mandatory. Either you need to enter name or you need to enter code. One of them is mandatory, not both. Okay. Now you can also reorder these columns, which we have seen yesterday. Okay? Down below, you see all the locations, whatever you have, I mean, based on search criteria, it displays the results, right? Now, you can update, you can create, you can export all these locations. If you click on this export option, it exports the locations in Excel format, and most of the pages in Oracle have this option, Excel export option. So you can export the data. See, it exports the data like this. Okay. Now there are multiple ways how you can create locations. Okay. Either you can create manually, which means I just come to the screen, click on plus sign, and create the locations. This is one way. But in case if you have bulk data, probably probably you have 50 locations. I'm just giving a random number. If you have huge data, you need a spread. You want to load this using spreadsheet, correct? So you can use this manage spreadsheet option, and you can load the data. So we have a separate session for ADFDA. I'm going to show you how to load the data using ADFDA. So we have some screens or some pages on in Oracle have this ADFDA, which means rather than entering the data manually, what you can do, you can download something called as ADFDA. This is an inbuilt feature of Oracle. You download this add-in option, and what it does is it allows you to download the template, which means spreadsheet, and enter the data and upload the data. That's it. You don't have to run any programs for it. Okay, it is like a data loader tool where you enter the data, upload the data. Okay.
Pramod, sorry for joining late.
Yeah, tell
Uh,
me. Siddharth.
yeah, good morning. Pramod, could you please go to my access? Like, I was trying to assign me some of the taxes, but I couldn't. I just created a user ID. Could you please check what was the issue?
What happened? You created a user.
Yeah, I created a user yesterday for myself.
Mm. What is your username?
It's
Siddharth.
yes, Siddharth.
Siddharth Gupta. Okay.
Yes,
Sid-
username is SID_fusion.
It is not active. You didn't assign any roles.
So okay, I just wanted to know one more concept. This linked account is there now when we are creating that linked
Correct.
account. So
Correct.
in linked account, like what is the mechanism? How it is working? Let's suppose I created a new user Siddharth Gupta, okay, and the username I defined as the state_fusion. And if I'll select that in linked account Pramod, right, or
Okay. Okay.
Harland. So
Okay.
what will happen? Like my account will replicate the same thing what Pramod had, or it will.
No, which means you are actually associating a user account with an employee. That is what it will do. Which means now you are in your so in this scenario you just created a user called Sid. Let's say okay.
Yes.
Now, when you go to manage users in setup and maintenance and create a new employee and you link that employee with the user, what system will do? It will create a relationship with that person as well as with the user account. That's it. It doesn't add any roles. It doesn't do anything else.
Still,
Clear?
I didn't get like why we are using this link account like.
Okay, you don't initially you don't see that's what I'm telling you. There are multiple ways scenario. There are different scenarios which I'm going to tell you. One,
Hmm.
in case if you're implementing for the first time, you load all employees. System creates user accounts automatically. You don't have to create anything. It's a standard process, initial load as part of data conversions. Got it? This is one thing. This is one thing. Okay. Now you just have some employees who don't need user accounts. They don't need user accounts itself. So what you do, you just create an employee. You don't create them as user account because they're not going to access Oracle. This is one scenario, right? Now let's say,
Right.
for example, you created a user account. You created a user accounts, but currently they are all contract labor or contract people or workers. Okay, they access Oracle system, but they cannot perform certain transaction in system. In system, they can only majorly they can create configurations. Let's say, for example, consultants. We are like consultants, right? We don't need to be a employee because
Right.
we are not authorized we are not authorized people in that company, right? So we are given a user accounts, and what we do, we just log in, we perform the configurations. That's it. We don't do any purchase order creation, sales order creation, inventory transactions, or invoice creation process. So we are not authorized. So we are not created as an employee. Let's say, for example, in case if you have a user, let's say, for example, you are created as a SID. You are a consultant. SID. Okay, your user account has been created. Now, in case, let's say, for example, now after 1 week, you want to test a purchase order. Let's assume you want to create a purchase order, you want to create a requisitions, or you want to create a supplier sites and everything. Now, in this scenario, what you want to do, you need to be an authorized person to do the transaction data. Correct? Unless you have an employee associated with this account, you cannot create it. What it will do, it will throw an error saying that hey, you are not authorized person to perform this transaction. Correct? So next time what you can do, you go to setup and maintenance, manage users, and create person or employee. And your account is already there. You don't want to create a new user account, right? You don't want to create a new user again. Siddharth, you don't have to create a new user account. What you do, you already have an account, but you have to link it. So that is the reason we are creating a relation between this person or employee with your user account. But in case if you really want, you can create user, employee, and user at the same time, or you can create a link also. Is it clear, Manohar and Siddharth?
Could you please show me, like, could you please go to Sid and show me, like, how? Because I created a user, I think so, user account, right?
Okay. So did you understood the concept, Manohar?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You created a user account, correct? This is what you created. This is a user account who can log into the application, but you have not given any role here. You have not made this user account active. Okay, these are the two things which I see. Now here, I click on plus sign. If you want, I can create a new user, just like this SID underscore TST. This is one thing what I can do. If I don't want to use this account, if I don't want to use this account, what I can do, I can directly create a person and I can directly create a user directly from here.
Okay.
Clear? And see what happens, okay? And here I'm going to select as employee. Save and close. This is a new user which I've created, okay? Now see what happens. Cancel. See, Siddharth, I just
Hmm.
created one user account and employer. See, now it shows here. There are no roles because I have not assigned any roles, right? So this is my default username, which I've created when I'm creating the person. This is my email ID, worker name, Siddharth. See this?
Hmm.
But now in your scenario, what happened?
But for my account, why that worker name and everything was not displaying? Because I
Because
was
you did
given.
no, because you didn't create. That's what I'm telling you. In this scenario, what you did here, you didn't see. You just created an employee here. Sorry, user account from tools. But if you go to Siddharth manage users, you have to link it, right? You didn't do that. That's what I'm telling you. Are you clear? Do you understood the concept or not? You created just an account. You have not associated that account to an employee. Now, if I search, now I'm linking this. See, Sid Fusion. That is what you have, right? Sid Fusion. Now,
Yes.
save and close. Okay, I'm going to add this as an employee. Now I'll search this. Sid. Sid Gupta. See, now you can see Sid Gupta, person and everything which is associated. Clear?
Okay.
Did you understand the concept or not?
So in Oracle, one employee is there, one user account is there. So every time when we are creating a new employee or something, that the user account should be associated for that.
That depends upon scenario to scenario,
Yeah,
Siddharth.
yeah, got it. Like
Because in this,
if he or she is using that the Oracle, then we have to link like user
correct,
account. Otherwise, like leave it.
correct. But that too also, not all, if you have a Oracle user account, it doesn't mean that he can be an employee. If now, let's say we are all consultants, we implement
Right,
the project, correct?
right,
We are not employees of that company. But for testing purpose, we'll just create our own accounts to make sure that, it is associated. Okay?
okay, okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Now I go back to locations. Okay. Now I click on create. So now, as I said, right, so you have two options. One is manually can create, or you can also have manage spreadsheet option also. Okay. So I'm going to talk about manage spreadsheets in the later sections when we actually get into, data access and everything, how you can use ADF BI tool or a plugin which allow you to upload data using bulk, which allows you to bulk upload the data using spreadsheets. Okay. Now I click on this plus sign. Okay, I'm going to click on this plus sign to create new allocations. Effective start date. So wherever you see start, that means it's a mandatory field. Okay. Okay. Wherever see stay start, that's a mandatory field. Now effective state, effective started, which means from when this is going to be active. Let's say, for example, now you are creating a location for future purpose, which means you cannot use currently. So this effective date will control who can see this location and where you can see this location based on that. Okay. Now this is something called as location set, which is nothing but reference set in Oracle. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Reference set. This is a concept which is available in Oracle. Reference set, data set. Okay. Now what this will do, let's say for example, now I have multiple what you call locations or multiple payment terms or different setups like lookups. Probably I can say lookup or task. Okay. Now I got location Dubai, Europe, or Chennai, or Delhi. Okay. Here payment terms 30 days, 60 days, 50 days, 50 days, 90 days, or repeat. Okay. These are the payment terms. Now, what I can do in Oracle is, whenever I create something like this, right, setup or lookups, I can give a common category, which is nothing but reference set, associate with this reference set, and I can control which screen can see this, who can see this data also. That I can control. Probably, now in Dubai, you have a different payment terms. Let's say, for example, in Dubai, you called it as Middle East Standard Payment Terms. That is 11 days. I'm just giving an example, random example, okay? And Middle East, 22 days. But these 2 days are applicable for only Dubai. These are not applicable for any other country. Let's assume, okay? So when you create a payment terms, what you do, you associate this with a new reference set. You create a new reference set and you call it as Dubai. You created Dubai and you associate here. So whenever you create a configuration, when you actually pull this reference set, right, associate this reference set, it will only display those values that are associated with this set. Is this clear? Which means whenever you are doing some configurations, probably in receivables or payment receivables, right? When you are actually calling this set reference set, it will only display what is under that set. It will not display everything. And this is, let's say, this is common. Anybody can use. There is no restriction. Let's assume anybody can use. There is no restriction. Which means if I am using common, anything that is part of common will display for me. But if you use Dubai, it is anything that is part of Dubai that will all display for me. That is how you can restrict the data. Okay, that is a reference set. Okay. Now here you have name. Name ideally you can have how you want to display naming convention. Okay, let's say I'll just use this Dallas warehouse location. This is my name, Dallas warehouse location. So again, this is this is a study that you do with the business, how they want to have the naming convention. Okay, and wherever you see code as best practices, don't put spaces. Don't put spaces. You can enter 1, 2, 3, 4, or probably you can say let Dallas warehouse location. But make sure you don't put spaces. The reason why I'm saying code don't use spaces because most of the times you use code for integration purpose. Integration purpose. Okay. Now when you say space, that is a character in our. For us, space is a character. If you see this one, right? Let's I'll put like this. ABC space D. See, if you see, right, ABCD, ideally it is 4, but there is a space between C and D. That is the reason C. The length shows 5. So as a best practices, don't put spaces. Wherever you see code, it is always advisable that you either you don't put spaces or you put underscores. That's the best practices. Is this clear?
Yes, Pramod.
Okay. And this coding naming convention, right? You get this from the business, or in case if they don't know, as part of the implementation process, you connect with the business and you understand their current locations, how they're defined in their existing systems, and you come up with the terminology. Okay. So I'll just make sure that in case if they want to just display this based on the term number, also they can do this. I'll just put warehouse location. Okay. This is description. In case if you want to enter in a description, you can still do this, which means Dallas warehouse location. where the location used for shipping, receiving goods. Okay, you can just enter this one. Okay. Now, as I said, wherever you see star, make sure you fill this information. This is active. Currently, in case if you want to, in future, if you don't want to use this location, you can inactive this location. Make sure you remove the inventory operations. Okay. Again, there is an impact in the downstream systems, but make sure uh, you remove the inventory organizations. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about this inventory organizations once we create this. Because if you see here, right, you have a warehouse, physical location, and that warehouse is also that location is associated to a warehouse informations. Okay. So for now, let's park this. When we create inventory organizations, I'll come back and I'll tell you what this will do. Okay. Now here you have longitude location. Basically, this is geographical location of the location specific location. If you want, you can also attach notes. Okay, it can be a file, it can be a text, it can be URL, anything. Probably in case for this location you want to attach something, it can be images or it can be a file. It can just you can still do this one. Okay. Ideally, what we're trying to do is that we are creating a location and we are adding the details for that locations. Okay. Now down below, here I have address information. So the first line is address line is mandatory. Here you have here you have address line. I'm going to enter this as a 1234 main street. Okay. Zip code. I'll enter some zip code. Okay, so this is my zip code. I'll just enter. So there is something called a geography. Based on that, system will display that information for me. It's not displaying. Okay. Usually what happens, I'm not sure what's this problem.
It is for the countries or USA.
No, code countries is county. Okay, so
County, sorry. It's
so
yes.
this system is being used by different people. So we have a challenge here. Wait.
So why like it so all data should get populated
Correct.
from
It will populate usually. That is the functionality. The moment you enter this one, right?
yeah
System
city or zip code, then
it
based
will
on zip
pop.
code, yeah, based on zip code it should be populated.
That is the functionality of geographies, which means whatever you enter here, right? If you enter the zip code, it displays everything for you. It gives the search criteria pop up, and it gives what is the applicable county, city, and it displays, and you can select from them. Okay.
Right.
Right. Okay. Now, in case if you want to add the phone number or fax information, language, email, then you can enter that information. Okay. Now, what is the purpose of this address? Do you want to use for ship to receiving, building, or office purpose? You can do this one. Which means now, in case if you want to use this for shipping, okay, or receiving. So, if it is a warehouse location, definitely you will make sure that you want to receive the goods, you want to ship the goods, and you want to receive the invoices also. In case. Okay. So down below you have some extra information which is advanced or more information which is not applicable for us. It's more for the HR related stuff. But at least for
Pramod,
now,
what is this bill for site? Come
bill to
down.
site. Okay, bill to site is nothing but in case if you want to receive the invoices, then you are going to enable these options.
No, so invoices to this particular location.
Locations. Correct. Invoices. In case if you want to receive invoices to this specific location, you can do this one. Okay.
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 So we cannot change. Like suppose if we are purchasing an item ABC to this location, and our head office is in LA. So according to that implementation or the standard, that the bill should go to that the head office, right? And let's suppose if we have chosen here like bill to site, so instead of that LA location, it will display this Dallas location, right?
That depends. You can create, see, again, you can display where when you create a purchase order, you have a receiving location, you have a basically receiving location as well as invoice location, right?
So we can
So
change over there in PO
correct,
as well.
purchase orders you can change. So system will what it will tell you where
I
I can receive.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Now you can review this information if you want. Okay, so there is something called as edit option here. When I click on this edit, so what it will do, it will just give you a pop-up, small pop-up like this, image web address. In case if you want to just upload images, something like this. I'll just give you an example. Copy image address and click on preview. Click on OK. See, it displays for you. It is only for identification purpose. It doesn't have much functionality. Okay, so in case if you want to upload something to identify the location, you can still do this. But if you want to add more, you can still add this. Use the functionality attachments, and you can do this one. Okay. Now I have something called as review. In case if you just want to review this, what would be called to the functionality? Unable to retrieve content addition from it. Or okay, one second. We have lost the data. Let me just create this again. I'm going to create the location again. Okay, this time it populated all the data. Okay, then I click on see again. Review is nothing but in case if you want to review the data before save, you can do that. Now, if you want, you can just save this and then you have data is saved. Okay, then you click on submit. Again, you can click on directly submit button. Request will be submitted. Okay, click on this. This is how you create a location in application. Any questions? Clear? Now let me search this whatever I've created. Dallas. See Dallas warehouse location. We just created this. Okay.
That is fine, Pramod. I have a question. Here, the two options was there: save and submit. So, if we will not submit, then what will like? How does it will impact on system or like implementation? Like save is also fine, or like we should hit on submit. Like what is the
You
process?
have to see save is nothing but it just saves the data, it doesn't submit. But when you click on submit, that is where actually it creates a location and it is available for you to use.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. I think in SAP it's save and submit like in a
Some
single button.
screens, correct. So again, there are some pages where you save as a separate button, save and close as a separate button, and submit as separate buttons.
Okay.
Different pages. Okay. Okay. Now next, I'm going to show you how to create a business unit. Manage business unit. This is a task. Okay. Now this setup is completed. Locations is completed. Okay, I'm going to create a business unit. Navigate to manage business unit task and enter the business unit. Okay. Now insert Dallas business. You can search business unit. Okay. So make sure this is active, and the location, if you want to send any location, you do this. Here I'm going to say this is common, default common set. Okay. Which means anybody can use this business unit. Okay. Then click on save. That's it. At this point of time, on this business unit screen, you just create a name and use the set. Nothing else. Okay. You just create a business unit now. After creating a business unit, then we are going to create item organizations. Item organizations is ideally used for what? It's only for definition purpose. It doesn't act anything, which means you are not going to perform any transactions. Okay. Now I go to manage. Guys, are you following what I'm trying to do here? Item organization. Manohar Siddharth, you're following?
Yeah, Pramod.
Okay, great. I click on this plus sign. I'm going to create a new item organization. Okay. Now, this is the name of the invitation item organization on. This is my code. Okay. So what I'll do, Dallas item organization or Dallas. You can just call this whatever you want. Master item. It can be a different any terminology you can say. Master organization, item organization, whatever it is, master item. Okay. Now here I can say DMI, probably, if you see here, right, there is a limitation here. I cannot go beyond this. This is the maximum length what I can. This is, it must contain up to 18 characters. That's what it is saying. So we cannot accommodate more than that. Okay. But in general, you just create this as a short. In short, you just create like this. It denotes like this. DM. Okay. Okay. Now, in case if you want, you can associate with this business unit, whatever we created. This is called as Dallas.
Pramod, why we required item organization if we already have that the item master and the organizations, like we already created a locations and we already created that organization, then why it is required that item organization?
Okay. So, Manohar, did you understand the question?
Yeah, Pramod. Actually, right, Siddhant, we didn't create it yet, right? We know the conceptual wise. For every location, we need to have a inventory organization. IMO, it's actually. IMO is we don't do any transactions. We will just create those items, required items and all. We will place it there. Once IMO is created, whenever we create any items, right, we will assign to them. For inventory organization, we will do the transactions and all. So we are, I think we are just creating the IMO. Am I right, Pramod?
So, item and relation organization is only for your definition purpose,
Hmm.
which will tell you what are all the items that you're buying or selling or maintaining in your company. That is what you're doing here. But for example, if you have multiple warehouses, multiple locations, right? Some means maybe in Delhi you have certain electronics. Maybe in Chennai you have only mobiles. But overall, your company has electronics and Chennai's. But when you go to Chennai, you will only see Chennai products, mobile products. You don't see electronics. You don't have access to that. That is what I'm trying to do here. Clear?
No, no, Pramod. Still, let's suppose uh, okay, item we have created ABC. We have a let's suppose 1,000 items, right? We required 1,000 items for an organization. We are manufacturing company, and we have already created some of that locations. We are in Chennai and Delhi at two places. And in Chennai, automobile industry was there. We were dealing with the automobile industry. In Delhi, we are dealing with the FMCG products. I'm just giving an example, hypothetically
That's
speaking.
okay. That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Delhi, that is the FMCG, that is the entirely different thing, and in Chennai, it is automobile industry, that's the manufacturing industry. If we already uploaded through CSV file or spreadsheet, we already
Which
uploaded
one?
all the 100 all the 10,000 items for across the
Okay.
company, right? And
Oh,
in item master, whether I don't know, like here in Oracle, that location is there or not. This item is required for only this particular location, or the across the organization they can use it. I don't know, like sorry, I forget it. So whether it
you
is there or
okay?
not,
Okay.
let's suppose, let's suppose,
Let's
let's suppose
no, no,
we
one
have
second. Let's park.
associated.
Sorry, Siddharth. Let's park SAP for a while. You give a business scenario. I'll tell you what this does. Okay, just give me your requirement
Yeah.
or your question. Then I'll tell you how this fits in our.
Okay,
Okay.
thousand item, 1,000, 10,000 item is there. We have two locations, Delhi and
Okay.
Chennai.
Perfect. Okay. And this is,
In,
let's say, for example, ABC company. Okay.
yeah, for ABC company.
ABC company, you got two different locations, Delhi and Chennai, and you have FMG products and automobile products. And overall, this is your, I'll tell, overall you have 10,000 items. And
Right.
out of 10,000, out
Three
of 10,
thousand, 3,000 for FMCG and 7,000 for automobile.
perfect. Okay. Now you got 3,000 for FMGC and 7,000 for, these are your items. Got it.
Right.
Okay. Now, what you're trying to do here is, this is your company.
Right.
ABC is your company. Okay. Now in Oracle, what happens, right? You this create this as an enterprise or a company. Okay.
Hmm.
Company this you create. Now you have something called as business unit concept, which is mandatory in Oracle, which you need to do because all the transactions resides at the business unit level. This is a structure or hierarchy in Oracle. Okay. Now
Right.
probably you'll create this as India business unit. Probably I'm just giving.
Okay.
Now you have something called item organization. You call this as item organization, IMO, or master organization, whatever the terminology you want to do, you can call it. Or you can just say my company catalog items. I'm just giving an example. I'm not going to the system right now. Okay.
Mhm.
Here I'll say ABC item master. At this level, I maintain 10,000 10,000 items. Is this clear? Let's not go to the next level. I just want to make sure you understand at this
Yes,
point of time.
yes, 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 yes.
Perfect. Perfect. But what you are saying is that you have two locations, warehouses. These are warehouses, correct?
Right.
This can be a distribution center or a warehouse.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, Delhi is a warehouse, Chennai is a warehouse. Okay. Now, in Oracle, what you do, you create two different warehouses, Delhi warehouse and Chennai warehouse.
Same locations, like in locations we have created two different
Correct.
Delhi,
But
Chennai.
and this warehouse, Chennai, Delhi warehouse, Delhi address,
Hmm.
Chennai address.
Right.
Are you are we clear here? Are
Yes.
you perfect?
No, no, no. Got it.
Okay. But what you're saying is 10,000 items, 3,000 only for FMGC, 7,000 for Chennai. Correct?
Hmm.
But overall, you created 10,000 items. When you create an items, right, at the item master level, what you do, you create this warehouse, and at the warehouse level, you just search FMGC items and you make sure that only 3,000 items are assigned to Delhi and 7,000 are assigned to warehouse level, Chennai.
Right. Right.
Is this clear? When you
Yes.
create items, you tell the system that, okay, this item is for Delhi, this item is for Chennai, this item is for both Delhi and Chennai. That is what you
So
can do.
in item master we are defining this.
Correct. But we have not yet there. That's what I'm telling. We are still in the initial stage of creating item organization. We are at
Okay.
this stage. We are currently at this stage. Clear?
Okay.
Siddharth, is this clear?
Yes.
So when you actually get into the item creation process, at that point of time, you will understand how you can associate to Delhi, how you can associate to Chennai. Is this clear? Clear?
We'll see in system, then I'll understand better.
No, 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 no. It's not about seeing. First, I want
No,
to understand
no,
understand the concept. Or
see, Pramod, actually, my understanding was like if we have created like let's suppose 10,000 items are there, right? And in
okay.
item master, if we already do have that the item master and the locations, we already created that the two different locations, Delhi
When you say
warehouse.
location, okay. When you say location, what exactly is that location?
Means Delhi
What I mean,
warehouse, Delhi warehouse and Chennai warehouse. These two are
okay. So
located.
tell me one thing. Let's say you have your own company. Let's assume you have a company. Okay. You sell. Let's say you sell shoes. Okay,
Hmm.
and you sell t-shirts. Let's say this is your business. What you do? You buy
Hmm.
from Chennai and you sell in probably in Delhi. You sell.
Hmm.
Okay, this is your business.
Hmm.
You buy shoes and from different companies and you sell shoes and t-shirts. Now in
Hmm.
Delhi, you have two different locations. Let's assume Central. I don't know location of Delhi. I'm just giving an example. Central Delhi and East Delhi, two different locations. Let's assume
Hmm.
in Central Delhi you have one shop. Here you sell shoes. In East Delhi you have two shops
Hmm.
where you sell shoes and shirts. Now, when you say location, what exactly is location for you?
So for me, location is Delhi, but for if we come across for the business unit, it should be Central Delhi and the East Delhi.
No, that is what I'm telling you. You are located in Delhi. Probably Delhi is your territory for you. But
Right.
someone is asking you, if someone is asking you where do you do business, you'll say Delhi. But if you ask him, right, if someone will ask you, hey, where are you located in Delhi? If you want to buy products, you'll just tell exactly the physical location where the customer can come, visit, and buy products from you. It's not your go
Right.
down. Probably, you have a shop in the main city, you have a shop. But probably you have a go down somewhere outside the city. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Correct, right? So which means this is your warehouse. Your godown is your warehouse where you maintain all the stock. But you have a small shop in the city, and in that city you sell the products. But if the customer is saying, hey, I want to place an order, what you do, you take an order. But ideally, what if you have an item here, you ship it from here, or if you have items, you ship it from the godowns in bulk. Is this
Okay.
clear?
Fine. Okay. Fine. Pramod, sorry. I just wanted to understand. That's what I'm stretching like this.
No,
See,
no, absolutely.
yeah.
It's
So
okay.
let's suppose leave it that the go down and the address and everything. In Delhi, we do have that the Central and East Delhi two locations,
Correct.
right? So
But that is a physical location, I'm telling you,
yeah,
not
yeah,
just the
and the same way in the same and in same way in Chennai also we have Grams Road and the Transport Nagar,
correct.
two different
Exactly the
locations.
physical location
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about.
I'm talking about. Okay, could you please write somewhere that the Chennai two different locations are there, Grams Road
Okay.
and the and Transport Nagar,
Grand Road and what
Transport
is
Nagar,
that?
Transport Nagar. Let's suppose in Chennai, I'm talking about two different
Okay.
locations are there,
Okay.
Grams Road
This
and
is
yeah, in Chennai.
okay.
So tell me one thing. I just in like in system, if we wanted to create these settings, Delhi, Chennai, plus in Delhi, Central and East Delhi should come, and in Chennai, Grams Road and Transport Nagar should come.
Okay. So where are you doing your business? Where are your godowns? Where is your warehouses? These
Warehouses in
different.
no, see warehouses is in in Delhi Central and East Delhi two locations. In Chennai two different locations, Grams Road and Transport Nagar.
Correct. You have warehouses in Chennai also. Is that you're saying?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So which
So
means you
in
have four
system,
warehouses in your
yeah,
company.
in system, if we are going to create a location, Then in systems, we will create only two different locations, Delhi and Chennai, or we have to create four different locations for Central Delhi, for East Delhi, for Grams Road,
4
Chennai
locations.
location, and from transport,
Four
four locations.
locations.
Okay.
Because if you maintain the stock, if you want to
Okay.
track the stock, if you want to ship the stock or receive the stock in that specific location, and you consider that as a warehouse, then you have to create 4 locations. But
And
if you think, okay, let me complete. So if you think you have 2 locations in Delhi, 2 locations in Chennai, but the East Delhi is just a location. There you don't do anything.
hmm,
It is, but the godown is only in central. Your
hmm,
godown is in godown. Sorry, your godown is only in central. Create
hmm,
only one location and one warehouse, but you create 2 locations. So you understand, right? So depends upon how you manage your transactions. If you want to ship and receive the goods in this central, then you need to create both central and east. You want to receive, then you have to create both as a warehouses.
okay. And for business unit, we have to create two different units for Delhi and
Now,
Chennai.
business unit is at your global company level, right? How you want to
Okay.
track the transactions. Let's say, for example, in India, probably you have south, east, north,
Hmm.
and west. I'm just giving an example. If you
Hmm.
want to track the transaction based on these at this level, 4 different categories, you
Hmm.
create 4 different business units. I'm just giving an example how you want to track, identify, and maintain your data.
Okay.
You can see what data, how you want to transact the data, or else you can just create only one business unit and globally you can at the India level itself you can track it. But if you think you have warehouses, you want to limit, you want to segregate, which means South India should not see East India, East India should not see North, North should not see South West. Do you want to segregate the data? You want to control the access and everything? Then you create multiple, or else it can be just one.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Uh, no problem. Thanks.
Okay, fine. So I'll stop here. Then I'll start item organization tomorrow. Any questions?